Hi everyone, my name is Haley Gray and I work as the Legislative Advocacy and Policy Coordinator at the Justice for Girls Coalition, a training and advocacy nonprofit based in Washington State. In this video, we wanted to share our 2022 legislative session report card to get out the word about the different bills and budgets that were passed by the Washington State Legislature during session. In the fall and summer of 2021, our advocacy work group members worked in tandem with our Girls Advocacy and Impact Network, also known as GAIN, to develop 3 policy priorities. Within these work groups and programs, our members convened to discuss emerging policy shifts and next steps for policy creation. These meetings and these work groups was really essential for connecting our issue areas to specific bills and budgets to track and monitor during the session. As a community, we landed on the following issue areas. Firstly, improve and expand prevention, diversion, and discharge services for girls involved in or at risk of becoming involved in Washington State public systems, including child welfare, housing, behavioral health, and juvenile justice. Secondly, promote safe and inclusive school communities for girls and gender-expansive youth, as well as develop funding for girl-centered, racially equitable programming. And lastly, address the mental health crisis by using a girl-centered racial equity lens. JFG would also like to reflect on the community growth and advocacy work conducted by our policy research interns and GAIN members. GAIN members began the year learning skills on self-advocacy and healthy relationships. To better translate these foundational skills to a community and legislative level, we provided GAIN members with the opportunity to look at data on the status of girls in Washington State to connect that to their own lives and personal experiences. This allowed our members to learn how to advocate for bills by simultaneously presenting important data and strategically sharing their own stories in an effective manner that minimized re-traumatization. Now we have some GAIN members and facilitators reflecting on their own experiences in the program.
Something that I learned or something that was new is just the fact that your story is enough. Because sometimes I feel like you can get caught up in the fact that, out of, all these people who this bill could affect or this one issue could affect, how could my story represent that, or how could my story be big enough to make an impact? But the truth is that there are people that are listening, and that you don't have to prove anything, and that just you and your testimony is enough to be a change maker in your area and cause a ripple effect that can have amazing impact.
I do think a highlight was when we were able to just kind of see all the work that we've done and understanding ourselves and put that down into things like testimony or just kind of see all of the girls within our program, including the facilitators, be able to express ourselves in such a way that it was very impactful, even if we weren't physically at these areas where these bills were being made or passed or things like that. But it was just the thought that we all felt confident enough and safe enough to be able to share our own stories and how that related and our passions that relate to our own stories. I thought that was really cool.
I think a highlight for me was getting the chance just to meet with different state representatives and really talk to them about these policy areas that affected our daily lives or that we were all really passionate about. And it was just really exciting to kind of use our own personal experiences and stories as leverage in legislative advocacy, and really feeling like we got our hands dirty and were super involved in that process. And yeah, I think that was just a really big highlight, just knowing that I was able to do that and make a difference with all of these other people in our community.
One of the most impactful parts of GAIN for me is just realizing how many shared experiences young women in Washington have throughout the state, and regardless of identity or community. And kind of like Natasha was saying, every one of our GAIN members had a story that related to some policy that we were advocating for this session. So it was really incredible to have that community where, some of our girls are involved in public systems of care, and they're advocating more for bills that are related to improving transitions after foster care, or things like that. But also there's all kinds of policies that impact the rest of our girls' lives, including about school. We talked about mental health sick days this year a lot. So I think just seeing the wide range of ways that policies impact our girls' lives in different ways and kind of talking through those commonalities and also differences is one of the things I always learn from the GAIN program.
Hi everyone, my name is Natasha and I'm a sophomore in high school and incoming youth program and training specialist at JFG. This year, I had the privilege of being on the Yakima Gang chapter, where we eagerly engaged in legislative activity by submitting bill comments, signing onto budget proviso sign-on letters, virtually testifying in the House and the Senate, meeting different legislators, and so much more. The hard work and dedication gave JFG the platform to tirelessly track a plethora of bills and budgets throughout the session. The following of our priority bills passed this session were HB 1834, concerning students' excused absences from school for mental health reasons, HB 1905, reducing homelessness for youth and young adults discharging from a publicly funded system of care, HB 1860, preventing homelessness among persons discharging from an inpatient behavioral health setting, and HB 1773, concerning assisted outpatient treatment for persons with behavioral health disorders. Additionally, 2 of the 3 budget provisos JFG was championing this session were the expansion of the Juvenile Block Grant, funding at-risk youth programs, which had no fiscal impact, and Juvenile Block Grant Oversight Committee, which also had no fiscal impact, and they were included in the legislative budget as well.
It is imperative that Washington State focuses on racial and gender disparities and works to provide better resources to help protect youth of color in systems that frequently fail to meet their needs. Because of this, we're so appreciative of our community's advocacy and support this session. We had some incredible legislation passed this year because we have such a strong and dedicated community behind us. We really hope that all of these policies are going to serve as a catalyst for change, and believe that with your help, we can really grow our policy platform and engagement and advocacy work. If you're interested in learning more about JFG or getting involved in one of our work groups, please fill out the survey link below. Also, drop a comment to let us know why you're personally passionate about advocacy work. Thank you all so much for watching, and we hope you have a great day.